At some point in my career, I stopped being myself. That has probably been one of the hardest realization on this journey of decentering work. When I look at who I was before who I am now, sometimes it feels like I'm looking at two completely different people. Somewhere along the way, I became extremely conflict averse. I became overly conscious of how I come across to leaders. I became fearful of being misunderstood, sidelined, or losing opportunities because of workplace politics. I created this world of fear in my head, and honestly, it made me uncomfortable. It made me hold back, it made me smaller. When I started reflecting on my entire career, I realized that there was a huge gap between how I used to show up and how I show up today. Now, don't get me wrong, being cautious matters, understanding perception matters, especially when you are trying to climb the corporate ladder or you're already in a senior position. But when you realize you have left behind every single thing that once made you proud of yourself, that hurts. It hurts because you suddenly realize you have been hiding parts of yourself for so long that you have almost forgotten who you are. And you did it for good reasons, to keep leaders happy, to avoid rocking the boat, to get the promotion on time, to get the salary hike on time. But at what cost? What exactly did those things cost you? These realizations were difficult for me to accept because I wasn't always like this. I used to be incredibly confident in what I believed. I did not care about what other people thought of me. I was headstrong, direct, a little rebellious, if I'm being honest. I still remember one of my early managers calling me a breath of fresh air because I was straightforward and unfiltered. I did not hesitate to speak the truth. I wasn't constantly calculating consequences, but somehow things worked out. Looking back, I also think the people around us matter more than we realize. There was a period in my career when I was surrounded by people who encouraged me to be myself. Those were some really good years. And I'm not saying the people around me today are bad, not at all. But somewhere along the line, I was advised to stay quiet, to not challenge too much, to be careful, and that advice stayed with me. It somehow became my default setting. The problem is that I never updated it. Now every time I try to return to who I used to be, it feels uncomfortable because this cautious version of me has become the new normal. I'm trying to find my way back, not to become reckless or not to ignore consequences, but to reconnect with that younger version of myself who wasn't constantly worried about how she would be perceived. The version of me who could disagree respectfully, the version of me who could speak up, who could see failure as a stepping stone, not a full stop. And maybe that's what this entire decentering work journey is really about. Not becoming someone new, but remembering who you were before work convinced you to become someone else. If you have noticed changes in yourself because of work, I would love to hear about them. Leave a comment below and let me know. What's one part of yourself you're